Today we're going to sharpen a S30V blade on the back side of a ceramic coffee mug. I hope you like it. So I thought I would attempt at honing the edge on my Paramilitary 2 knife by using a ceramic coffee mug. I got this idea from, I think it was J Davis 882, where he retouched up an edge that he had just tested, and he basically honed the edge on the underside of a ceramic coffee mug. So I don't take credit for this. In fact, I don't even know if I'm going to post this video because I don't know if it's even going to work for me. But I thought just for fun I would try and basically re-hone the edge on my S30V Paramilitary 2. So let me show you sharpness. Now the edge does have a chip out in it. You can kind of see it, so just keep that in mind. But the knife isn't dull, but it doesn't slice the paper cleanly. It does cut it, but it's almost like it's tearing the paper a little bit as opposed to slicing cleanly. So that's just basically for reference, the sharpness on the knife. It will cut regular white paper, but as far as like push cutting, it kind of struggles. So what I want to do is just see if I can make the edge better just by using the backside of a ceramic coffee mug. So we'll see if this works. Now, from what I know about sharpening, the main thing here is you want to keep your strokes consistent and your angle consistent. That's really the most important thing, because if you do that, then eventually you're going to get the edge sharp. You just have to be really consistent. And you can actually see after a while, because I tried this once before on a different knife. You'll actually see the metal shavings on the ceramic on the bottom of the cup. You'll start to see them from the blade. It takes a little while, and it's pretty faint, but you will see them. Now, in sharpening myself, one of the things that I've learned over the past couple months, because I am still somewhat new to sharpening, is that it really, for me, my biggest problem when I started out was that I was always applying way too much pressure to the edge when I was sharpening, and you really don't need much at all. And that's been kind of the biggest thing that I've learned to keep my edges sharp and to get them the sharpest. Is just number one, be consistent. Not even necessarily on both sides of the edge. It is best if you can do that, but eventually you're gonna make that edge to a sharp enough point. You know, if you're consistent on one side and then you go to the next and you're pretty consistent on that side, eventually you're going to come up with a good edge. So definitely consistency, and just not putting way too much pressure. You really don't need a lot. If you're just honing an edge, then it doesn't take much. So let's see if that made a difference. It definitely feels sharp, and I can see some of the metal shavings on the cup already. Let's see if that made a difference. Honestly, it doesn't feel like a difference yet. So let's keep going. It's definitely not any duller, which is a good thing. But if I mess this edge up, I can always go back to the Lansky sharpening system where I can preset the angle. Sorry for the beep, guys. I need to change the battery in my fire alarm. That's what that beep is periodically. And again, I'm no sharpening expert, so if I'm doing something wrong, or even if you guys have suggestions for me, feel free to comment in and let me know. I'm not claiming to be the best sharpener or anything. Just kind of learning here and sharing it with all of you. Now another thing is when you're sharpening is you don't want to slide the edge off. So I know I'm probably going to get a comment on that, but all I'm trying to do is just rehone the edge here. And I'm working with kind of a weird angle with the camera, so it's not perfect. Let's try that again. It definitely feels sharp on the finger, but that's not always a good indicator of sharpness. Wow, that actually is sharper. The cuts that I did before, you can kind of see how they were being torn. You know, they're tearing through the paper. They're not completely smooth, but if you look at these, that's a clean cut. Again, there's that one spot in the blade that's kind of chipped out, so it will grab on that spot. Once it gets past that point, it is honestly sharp. It is cutting a lot smoother. Got a couple minutes left on the SD card on my camera, so let me try and get this a little better if possible. That's pretty surprising that you can actually do this, because on most knives, really, you're not going to need to resharpen the blade. You're only going to need to rehone it most of the time. There's only going to be a few times when you're actually going to have to resharpen it. So to know that you can bring the edge back, as long as you have a reasonably sharp edge and not a completely dull knife, because this is S30V steel. It's a harder steel, so it's good to know that you can do that with even a more premium steel like this. I'm going to stop right here for a second so I can put some more space on this card. We'll be right back. Alright, so we're right back. I'm just going to spend a little more time, see if we can't get that edge just a little bit cleaner. I hope this video is not too long, but I hope it's enjoyable if I do upload it. I just thought this was pretty interesting. When I saw Jay Davis do this, I thought it was pretty cool. Plus, I always like watching sharpening videos myself, cutting videos. If you're into knives, somehow that's just enjoyable. Can't get enough of it. Alright, let's try a cut test again. See how we're doing. Wow, that's much better. Definitely. Like I said, when I first started, it was kind of just ripping through the paper, tearing it off. It wasn't slicing it. These are clean cuts. That's a much better edge from what we started with. So I think that's about it. I just wanted to demonstrate that even someone such as me, because I'm not a really experienced knife sharpener, I'm able to bring an S30V edge back after chopping all that wood a few days ago in one of my prior videos. I was able to bring the S30V edge back to much better condition just with the back side of a ceramic coffee mug. So I hope that was interesting for you guys and gals, and if you like it, go ahead and post a comment if you have any questions or suggestions for me when I'm sharpening. But anyways, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later. Peace.